this is what we're seeing. As we have all by this time, we all have seen in the story, and we are all well aware by now that God has in fact chosen Moses. Moses doesn't think he's better than anybody. God is using Moses. Yet these people look at Moses as thinking that he's better. Do you see how that works? When Moses heard this, verse 4, he fell face down, and he said to Korah and all of his followers, "In the morning, the Lord will show who belongs to him and who is holy, and he will have that person come near him. The man who chooses, he will cause to come near him. You, Korah, and all of your followers are to do this. Take censers, and tomorrow put burning coals and incense in them before the Lord. The man the Lord chooses will be the one who is holy. You Levites have gone too far." So Moses is saying, you now have gone too far. Moses is saying, don't come to me and yell at me because I'm doing what the Lord is saying. Don't come to me and yell at me because I'm living according to the purpose and I'm following the instructions of the Lord. That's all Moses is doing. Moses is doing nothing except listening to the instructions of the Lord. And as a result, Moses is finding favor. To narcissistic people and family members, when you do things that cause favor in your life, they attack you. They attack you for thinking that you think you're better than everybody else when really you're just doing what the Lord's asking you to do and you're finding favor. So Moses says, now you're going too far. You're blaming me because I'm listening to what God is telling me to do. So here's what we'll do. Let's let God do the decision. God will make the decision. So Moses said, let's do this. All right. And he said exactly what to do. Then Moses summoned Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, but they said, we will not come. Isn't it enough that you have brought us out of a land flowing with milk and honey to kill us in the wilderness? And now you also want to lord it over us. Moreover, you haven't brought us into a land flowing with milk and honey or given us an inheritance of field and vineyards. Do you want to treat these men like slaves? No, we will not come. So Moses is up against now an entire community, a nation that's almost rising up against him now and rising up against God. These people are becoming impatient. And let's not think that perhaps we wouldn't feel the same way. After all, like they just said, you took us out of a land flowing with milk and honey. Egypt had plenty. Egypt had lots of food. Even though they were slaves in Egypt, even though they couldn't worship in Egypt, even though Egypt was corrupt and immoral, sensualized, hypersexualized, all drunken, all this stuff, they still had what they perceived was a land of flowing milk and honey. They weren't starving. Nothing was neglected. So now they're out in the wilderness trying to establish these rules to live by, which they feel is starving them. They're starved of the lusts of their flesh is really what they're angry about. Where in Egypt they can get away with anything. Here, as the Lord is building a new community and a new nation that is disciplined, the only thing they're really starving of is being able to do whatever they want to do. That's all it is. When the Lord disciplines you in